Day Vibe Tribe, rocking with your friendly entertainer. Speakity motivator, with the vibes that I rate her. That is your girl, and your obviously, also known as Jenny Beats. And we have a friend today, we have Spicy, and we have Chat.
I'm the bad bitch, I'ma be rich. I'ma be bitch, I'm the bad bitch, I'ma be rich. I'ma be bitch, I'm the bad bitch, I'ma be rich. I'ma be bitch, I'm the bad bitch, I'ma be rich.
Reba, what you doing? Nothing much. We're streaming on Discord, Twitch, and Twitch to YouTube. Let me turn off this top light. Oh, happy days. Happy days, Vibe Tribe. Happy days, Spicy. I can hear you watching some TV or something in the background. Ho, ho, ho.
I'll turn it down a bit.
Oh, I have my anxiety medicine. Even being from the general category, I demand, and I'm in favor of reservations. Stiggity. So, chat's in favor of reservations as well. Also, what's the name you were locking? And your Odyssey. I knocked you to the floor. I could have been a rapper if I was born in the 2000s. You probably could have been a rapper. Alright. He's not telling the loan. God greet you, brother. I'm actually united. For that I have no story. I have a story. I've just been very grateful for this, for, a year of me streaming my YouTube or my Twitch videos to YouTube. All the trolling segments and of all the segments where I'm just being me. So you could be something, You matter. You used to live in Egypt. So, I was watching a video, and normally my phones, my technology will interface with me. And I said something about America, and then my phone my phone turned off. I was like, so I must be interfacing with different communities other than America. And I was like wondering what, what communities that I'm interfacing more with than America and USA. I said something about USA and then I did it again. And then my phone screen was like, nope. So maybe I'm interfacing with more countries on the right. So to be studying, if you're sleeping, you should sleep. And if you're motivated, then you should do stuff that, interacts with that motivation. Right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Streaming, you need motivation to stream, Highlighting Jesse. What do you know? My hacker man's in the chat. And all the blessing to people of Egypt. Spiggity, spiggity. I understand, Sesame. Yeah, in your Odyssey, Sesame Street, exclamation of, honesty, because, before you reply to a message, you have a battle axe in your hand, and maybe the battle axe is not necessarily where you come from, it's where your motivation is being humbly, drawn from. Stiggity, stiggity. So I'm just, one of my most recent videos, I was just like going on and on in like the same tone about how grateful I am for Chat, to have Chat interacting with me, to have, Discord interactions, and to be where I am on the scale of things and stuff and such, for my mobile streams, I feel like from my mobile streams to my YouTube, you have a different viewpoint of me from the mobile streams, and you have, especially while I'm streaming right now to YouTube, you have a different view and, a different, esque, the esque is like towards the end of a word, it's stiggity-esque, it's comfortable-esque, it's, it's conversation-esque, it's soulful-esque. In the settlement, I'm saying to where how, to where how, to how where, and who, when, where. Because we have what in the chat as a moderator. So I'm really interested, as to who stands for my content and who stands for me, because there's probably a lot of y'all, and a lot of us. New Jessie. I wish that I had Jessie's girl. How can you find a woman like that? It's only after being spoiled. You know, being spoiled is so much fun. It's so much fun to be spoiled. Didn't you know? My gosh, golly gee, willikers. You know, I didn't think it would be a problem for me changing my name to Enya Odyssey because I felt as though it was like a different chapter in my life. You know, it's been a year since I've been streaming this way, and before I really didn't, you know, have my mobile stream while I was streaming to YouTube. And the difference of the aura is so sticky. Mods' lives matter, that is true. The aura, though, you know, the aura that mods give, the aura that you have whenever you're just doing what you do. And seemingly every episode kind of being different, you know? Dark Indians. So my shirt is Vibing by Tribe. Vibing. Which one is the news? Probably the one that talks about news the most. A serious insider. Chat is. It's like parallel worlds. So yesterday, I totally had this dance party after I was beaming. Today, baby, won't you think about me? Uh-oh, my stain is laughing. One argument based on the fact that logic not using something now you have offered me an apology and tolerate. And best for the advance. How do you want to get married? Is there Jesse in the chat? Working as a public speaker. You guys just remember the things I've told you before. You know, I've told you that I was with someone named Jesse. I was with them for 4 years. And probably longer than that because we were friends before we started dating. We lived together together for a long time. And no rainbow. So, fun fact, I'm kind of wearing some whenever I was in the hospital for like a mental breakdown or whatever, you could have your family bring you clothes. They would not allow the rainbow color or the rainbow. They wouldn't allow these pants.
Oh my god.
It's true.
That's right. That's discrimination against people. People who have to wear rainbow stuff.
Kind of, sort of. So, this is.
I don't like.
These are the leggings. They didn't approve them. They're like, oh, you know. They didn't say why.
People becoming unwoke. I don't like it.
Unwoke. How would you define unwoke?
Propaganda.
Propaganda?
Propaganda. Yeah.
What sort of propaganda, you know, to where they wouldn't allow you to wear, like, they wouldn't
Because
allow you to
it's
wear...
not trying to do that kind of fan. Exactly the same, trying to ban the rainbow flag. They're trying to ban the rainbow flag, trying to ban Pride Day. It's not fair.
Is that in Britain?
That's everywhere. That's starting everywhere. It's going on everywhere. It's everywhere. Because it's why it's affecting the
Well, in the US,
affecting the EO.
in the US, they're very gay pride-esque, you know. We have the unisex bathrooms and everything.
Exactly. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. This is what's happening is Elon Musk is trying to set an unwoke studio. Basically, he got some transgender fans from the Olympics in their tackle and stretch, which is basically is right.
So it came from the Olympics.
Yeah, as well. The Olympics, everything at school is beginning from that. It come like what we call it. It was a domino effect. It's affecting the fact that they got an unwoke studio now, working with Matt Damon, this Sly Stallone, Mel Gibson. So what they're trying to create more family values than programming.
More family values.
Yeah, they're trying to get more value. Yeah, because basically it's not right. It's like, that's why I see it's basically
because
that
the gay flag is huge in the United States because the United States is probably one of the biggest countries that is, you know, that promotes gayness, both in the way of dating outside of your race, dating outside of your religion, dating outside of your gender, and dating within your gender.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. It's the fact they're going to try and shut down they've been trying to shut down Pride events in areas. Pride in competitions and stuff like that, you know. Like in the Pride days at basketball places or you know, or
Did you see the Pride Days of basketball?
Get that flag removed.
You said the Pride Day of basketball?
If you look for something, Pride Days of basketball, many other sports are trying to get some sportsmen to say we're not going to do this, it's going to show that pride flag again. You know, the gay flag, they're not going to do it. They don't want it. It's like they're basically you labeling it as unwoke.
Well, that's...
Basically.
I haven't heard that before.
Which I believe. Yeah, well, I've been watching you. Yeah, being the old Facebook about some people about it. It's probably you can't really put too much into it. But I've got checking in and out. Miss Snow been talking about it because he's being a gay. He says he doesn't like it either. It's like he wanna. I want to take that's like doesn't matter whether you're gay, lesbian, or whatever. I respect just as much women's rights, just as much gay rights, men's rights. It's like the truth is why you can't really put these people down. I class it as a human. That's all. You're just human. If you're gay, so what? You're human. You're black, you're human. You're white, you're human. If you're Indian, you're human. That's what you are. I don't see colour, I don't see religion or sexual orientation. You're just human.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to translate gay, like you said. It could be race, it could be religion, it could be demographic, it could be so many different things. And I think within America, the gay flag is, more predominant than in other countries because other countries are definitely more traditional. And,
they're making it.
And to be a part of, a traditional, landscape of, to be a part of a traditional landscape of different ethnicities and different backgrounds, and most people, the woke movement. I think it's just people being aware of, what's happening in the world. To be unwoke, I think is, to be eyes shut.
Yeah. It's basically like it seems more. It seems more like a political movement. Sort of thing. And political situations. The way it's been discussed, the way that we've been talking about on Facebook between certain celebrities, saying bye to Hollywood, the unwoke movement. It's not right. It's like, and even people say to Disney to remove the gay flag from their thing. It's not right. It's more like a political thing to me at the same time. But it's a thing that I just think they should keep it around because it's part of, that says people what they are. Just like
so there's different woke definitions within each year. There's different woke definitions within each year. Woke definition in 2025. Is awareness of social issues. Woke refers to being conscious of social injustice and inequalities. Cultural sensitivity emphasizes the importance of understanding and respecting diverse cultures and identities. Activism. The term is often associated with activism aimed at promoting social change and equity. Critique of systems. It also involves questioning the challenging systematic oppression and discrimination. Evolving language. The meaning woke continues to evolve, reflecting changes in social attitudes and discord. Polarization. The term can be polarizing, with some viewing it as a positive call for awareness and others as a negative label for perceived overreach. So to be unwoke, is kind of to be eyes shut. Is not to care much about what's happening in the world, how it's happening, where it's where it's coming from,
Yeah.
and all that goodness.
So basically, Elon Musk is basically eyes closed to a person who's taking a non-woke.
No, I would say Elon Musk is woke. I was watching something the other day of Elon Musk and his kid X.
Yeah.
And X was talking about Jesus. And it made Elon Musk cry.
Yeah. But there was,
and I would say to talk about Jesus, that's woke. I would think that. I would think that's
Yeah, but he basically but what it said on Facebook, he's making an unwoke movie studio. That's like contradicting what you're saying.
No, it's not a contradiction because Elon Musk's child, believes in Jesus, and to be a Christian is to be woke, pretty much. To care about current events and to care about.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying if he's creating an unwoke movie studio, doesn't that go against what he believes in?
Yeah, because, all of his inventions are, to help humanity in some way. And his son, is a Christian. His son was talking to Joe Rogan about Jesus and was telling Joe Rogan that Jesus loves you, and, it made Elon Musk cry. There were, 12 million people that were watching.
Yeah, but I think if he's making an unwoke studio, I think that's not right, because it's like, an unwoke
studio.
Yes, he's trying to make one. Yeah, that's what he's told. It's on Facebook. He's working with Mark Wahlberg and Stallone, Mel Gibson, and a few other people. Even Roseanne Barr is joined that.
Who was it? Mel Gibson
and
Mel Gibson and who else?
Matt Damon and stuff. Stallone. Lots of Hollywood's going bye-bye this day. And Roseanne Barr as well. They're trying to work together to make an unwoke studio.
An unwoke studio. Well, that's, just going to be more fictional. It's going to be more fantasy based. It's not going to be based off of fiction. Fiction is fantasy. It's not going to be based on non-fiction. It's going to be more fantasy stuff if it's not woke.
Okay.
It'll have less to do with the actual real world and more to do with fantasy.
Less political then.
Yeah, you could say that. A little bit less political. It would probably be not political at all, because if it's not woke, then it's probably not political.
Yeah, because they're saying about values. It's mainly going based on family values. I mean, some of the films they were saying about the running probably take out non-realistic game videos, like they want to make more real, like sort of thing, more family values orientated.
Well, I would think that family values is quite woke, because if it's not family values, it's more fantasy, then it's probably not woke.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you think about it, Mel Gibson's movies are based, they're fantasy based from his own imagination.
Yeah.
But still, you could claim that
Yeah.
it falls within the category of woke propaganda. You know, from the
Exactly.
from the movie about the Indians. You know, there are still tribes out there that survive like that. And so, you know, that would be
Yeah.
kind of a woke notion. So the paradox, the paradox and the proxy is kind of woke. It's quite woke, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because I just know. I mean, I'm watching what things he's doing. I mean, what was that situation with the Olympics? Banning that helping banning that transgender, which is in the right man. Yes, I agree with it, but it's like what they're going to do when it comes to a transgender female who's competing in men's sports. You know, they're going to ban her. Because remember, you've got to take into mind, men are stronger than women, most people will say, which I partly agree with that. And some women are stronger than men, so if they're going to target a man who wants to become female competing in women's sports, yes, it's right, but what's he going to do when it happens the other way around, where a woman wants to compete in men's sports?
Well, that's
So you don't have
that's why they have, and they do. There is women that compete in men's sports, and there's men that compete in women's sports. There's in different categories and classes politically. You have to realize that every brand of sport, it has its own political arena, and it has its own political fan base, and it has its own political rules and regulations that coincide with the government. So you have to, in different governments, so you have to realize that maybe in one sport they won't allow men to compete in female sports, and in certain divisions maybe they do, and in certain divisions they allow women to compete in men's sports. And that's just the atmosphere of the political arena in which is president within different different cultures of sport, different genres of sport. There's college basketball, there's professional basketball. There's so many. There's national, and international basketball, and every arena has its own laws, regulations, and codes that they abide by.
Yeah, because the incident I'm referring to is that transgender competing in the women's boxing. Obviously, that transgender has his
So that would fall within the codes and regulations and laws of the MMA, the mixed martial arts. If mixed martial arts just doesn't allow men and women's sports, period, then there is no getting around that. There's the arena of woke individuals that are going to fight against the code and the regulations, saying that it's not fair. But whenever it comes down to it, if it states that there's no men allowed in women's sports, or if there's no women allowed with certain amount of testosterone in their blood to be within women's sports, then that's code. Of course, there's going to be journalists that try to fight that, and there's going to be people that try to push the record. But at the end of the day, and in the beginning of the day, there's rules and regulations, and sometimes in certain cases, they can bend the rules and regulations. But in most cases, they just they're fighting a cause to have their opinion out there that men should compete in women's sports.
Exactly.
Pushing transgender, whether they had a sex change and all that stuff. At the beginning of the day, men are just built different than women.
Yeah, exactly. Well, more like the actually, just like the Special Olympics, will they have a special event for transgenders?
Well, they might, that would be within the woke community, though, to try to, push that agenda to have men competing in women's sports or transgenders to have their own lane of sportsmanship, and that would be very woke within the gay community. And it's not because it's ugly, it's an ugly thing for people to change who they are and then expect people to bend the rules just because they, decided to fall within some certain political movement.
I mean, I must agree with a fine line. That's what I say. A very fine line. Everyone has and sometimes that it's not just fine line, but it's also about people controversies and all that about it.
After watching Mean Girls, everyone's gonna be mean. And someone saying they don't believe in trans sports and gay people.
Okay, that is.
But that's what I'm saying, that it's within some certain woke agenda to push the rights for trans individuals, because it's a cultural thing, it's, that, there are rules and regulations in sports, and sometimes those rules and regulations can be, catering to the woke agenda, because some sports and stuff like that don't want journalists breathing down their neck about certain certain things and having things published, because it actually makes it bad. It's bad publishing, or it's bad publicity for the sport.
Yeah. What's that's for the people with the meeting and well, not just what it makes me realize. Like I say, I mean, I say I agree with that perspective, no matter what their sexual orientation or whatever. They should be allowed to do things, but not to the restriction of the titles or ban something just because they're wanting to be a certain way. I mean, it's yes, I realise it's not fair. I realise, and look, me, I'm very respect women. I believe women are allowed to fight for their rights and say we're not going to compete because we're going against the
nowadays, we almost had a woman president, multiple times. Women are in Congress, women are, the speakers for states and countries. It's no longer the divide between men and women. It's more or less the divide between certain woke and unwoke agendas. And,
exactly.
within the realms of, sport, within the realms of politics, within the realms